Also summoned 35 other people, including more politicians, political activists, and for the first time, outspoken academics. On Saturday, the ruling military council also dissolved the Senate. The moves appear aimed at consolidating power and preventing any high-profile figures from rallying opposition to the military, which seized power on Thursday. Meanwhile, the military says they will use the full range of their powers under martial law, which could include the use of deadly force. And as CCTV's Tony Cheng reports from the streets of Bangkok, this has prompted some Thais to start publicly criticizing the military's takeover.
The Thai army would like you to believe theirs is a peaceful and necessary coup. On the streets of Bangkok, there are some who insist otherwise. Anti-coup protesters blocked by the police and army as they tried to voice their opposition to the military takeover. Scuffles broke out as the protesters surged forward, but the soldiers held firm. Clearly, one thing the army won't accept is dissent. Earlier in the day, army spokesmen faced the media for the first time since the coup. Martial law has already taken many radio and TV stations off air, and they say they will use all the powers at their disposal.
Under this Martial Law Act, we are allowed to use all kinds of coercive measures.
But assurances these unchecked powers they now wield would be used responsibly.
We will not use it with the violence with the children and ladies and elderly person. We have a strictly law engagement how to deal with the situation. We are quite confident on our soldiers.
That is going to be put to the test. Small but vocal groups of protesters have started to publicly express their opposition to the coup.
It's not fair for Thai people.
The army say they're here because they had to come out to enforce security.
No, there's a very trouble for 6 months, but they did nothing.
Most of Thai people want election. We want to be like other country. I think it's really simple.
The army watched on, standing behind a group of young and unarmed police, keen to stay away from the cameras. Around the corner, however, more seasoned soldiers in riot gear. This is now against the law, but the police and army stood back. How long would they let it progress? As the protesters took to the streets, the patience of the military wore out. On a busy downtown road, an unbreachable line of defense. First riot police in blue uniforms, then soldiers in full riot gear. And behind them, the men with the guns, full combat dress and authorized to use deadly force. It didn't come to that, but their conviction not to use violence against women didn't last for long.
This appears to be the fate of anyone who protests the coup at this stage. Protesters being pulled away by police, but they're being supported by armed soldiers with automatic weapons. It appears that anyone who wants to voice their dissent of the coup faces this fate.
The protesters eventually backed off. They are few in number, but they will not be ignored. The Thai army have sat back and watched as Bangkok and a democratic election was shut down, but it's clear they will now act to save themselves. Tony Cheng, CCTV, Bangkok.
Ukraine's interim Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk has urged people to take part in the presidential election on Sunday. In a statement on the eve of the